second time. Now, the Forvis Mazars Global C-Suite Barometer 2025, an annual study of over 800 executives around the world, has shown an increase in optimism by business leaders. A number of businesses that were surveyed had retained investment potential, and a number of countries continued to receive government support post the COVID pandemic. The study has also found that technology and innovation, sustainability commitments are among some of the key themes driving the growth trajectory. For more on this afternoon, we're joined on the line by Sebastien de Place, partner at Forvis Mazars in South Africa. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome. Good to have you with us.
Good afternoon, Thami. Thank you for the invite.
So when we look at the survey and the results of this barometer, around 94% of the leaders who were actually surveyed expressed optimism about growth, and 89% were anticipating increased revenue. Tell us more about these insights and how sustainable is this confidence, especially in the midst of global volatility?
Yeah, thank you. So, Thami, I think every investment and every return on investment goes with some risk. So the question is, what are the risks versus the return on investment? We know that in Africa, we have a population that will grow from 1.5 billion people to 2.5 billion people in the next 25 years. So obviously, it opens a lot of opportunities. We will have more people consuming. We will have people that will need to eat. So agriculture, agri-processing business, consumer goods, telecommunication, infrastructure, financial services are sectors that will develop, and it will happen. Now, some risks are associated to investment for the companies that want to grow in Africa. And yes, you have some political, economical risk in some of the countries. You can have some strategic challenges, and happy to come back to it a little bit later, because when we speak about one Africa, actually there are different areas on the continent, and the way of how people are consuming, the way of how people are working are very different. So it's complicated as well to speak about one continent in terms of investment. And as well, you have some operational challenges. We see, well, especially with our clients that we support in developing the activities in Africa, that sometimes they are failing because of operational challenges. For example, having a local team on which they don't have enough process. And I'm thinking now finance process or financial audits that are done too late, where we realize 3 years later that we have 4 or 5 years of tax pending, and that could be big consequences for companies.
You mentioned the increase and the projected increase in the population on the African continent as one of the key drivers for this optimism. I wonder then how this compares to reaction that you might have gotten in other parts of the globe, considering that research and statistics have shown that there is a decline in population growths in many of the major, European continents around the world, and even in Asia.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I will be able to explain why the population in Africa will grow, but certainly the population is decreasing in other continents. So what does it mean? It means that the world will look at Africa. And one of the reasons where we see African leaders more positive than the rest of the leaders in the world about the future is from what I think, because we know Africa, we live in Africa, and we know that there are opportunities. We see solutions to technical challenges where in some other countries area in the world, we see problems. If I may give one example, you can hear from my accent that actually I'm French. I live in South Africa for 10 years, but I'm initially from France. And when I see all the business leaders in Europe talking about Africa or talking about South Africa, I sometimes feel that we are talking about two different worlds. Only when they arrive here, only when they start to understand how we live here, they realize that the image they had is not a good one. They feel that in South Africa, we don't have electricity. You will get murdered every time you leave your house, and nobody will have water to drink in the coming weeks. Where we see that we have challenges here, but it's not so radical, and we have solutions, and we see opportunities there. So the world will look at Africa, but we know from Africa how to take opportunities better than other business that are not yet on the continent.
Very interesting point there. I'd like us to look for a moment at technology and the fact that technology transformation more specifically, does remain the top strategic priority internationally. So how are African leaders adopting the use of technology, and how are they managing the associated ethical concerns and the regulatory gaps that do exist within technology?
So this is a big challenge, not only in Africa, but in the world, because it is growing very fast and exponentially fast. I think today we are at the level 1 on 100. And we will reach 100 in the next 2 or 3 years. So it will go very fast, and the companies absolutely need to follow, otherwise they won't be competitive anymore, and they will be lost in that race. So one of the challenges that we have in Africa, more than in some other continents, is that we need to find the right resources, because implementing AI in a company is not only saying to your employees, you need to work on or use a Copilot to answer your emails quicker. It's much more complicated than that. Writing a good script for Copilot, to come back to that example, needs to have people that are trained. And one of the challenges in Africa is, or in South Africa, is that sometimes we have young professionals coming with a diploma, but they don't have enough experience. So they come with a diploma saying, we know data analytics, we know AI, but they have never worked on a real case. And it is the responsibilities of the companies to train them or to invest in training institutions. I come to just one example, but for Forvis Mazars, we have created 2 years ago an innovation and technology hub where we are training young South Africans that for some of them will work for us and advise our clients. For some others will work for our clients, and our clients are supporting this investment.
Sebastien de Place, thank you so much for your insight and your time and just taking us through just some of the outcomes of this barometer. Very much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. That's Sebastien de Place. He's a partner at Forvis Mazars in South Africa. He takes us to exactly 10 minutes to 5 p.m.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle.